So, a quick update. That was a modeling video because I have to at some point actually start doing the actions that would become outcomes that I want to experience. I want to do a quick update for the day, and I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm worried about being overheard by my neighbor because I don't want him to think that now I'm going to talk for 1,000 years, because he was just like kind of like audible in a way that he isn't normally. And I'm like, I'm not retaliating, I'm just needing to make a summary of my day so that I can complete this day and move on. And I wanted to take a few minutes. So now that I've said that, I feel better. I went to work today. This is me after work. This was my makeup today. Okay. This was my hair today. You saw my pants. This is my top. And I got to work, and the very first thing that was said to me by a coworker for the day was, "Oh, I think you may have like made a wrong turn. This isn't where the casting call for models is. Like, this is not the room for that." And I was like, and it was a woman, and I was like, what? Because I woke up and I was like tired, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm making new choices. I made a conscious choice to take a smaller shift because I had my days off, and I was like realizing how when you work too much, like, so like in this society the standard shift length is 12 hours for a lot of people. Like, a lot of workplaces won't let you have a shorter work shift. Like, you have to work 12 hours in order to work at certain, like, at a lot of places. And I was like, I had these days off, and I was like, what is it that happens when you work too much trying to make ends meet? You lose your connection to your actual life. Like, your life actually is important and it matters, because you're going to be miserable if certain things don't happen for you. Like, the only thing about human life that causes misery is the not achievement or the not happening of something. And all the religions that try to sublimate that into hope for an afterlife, hope for some kind of like acceptance of what is and all that, I'm like, I don't see that working for most people. So there's like a cool scientific phrase, but I don't remember what it is right now. It's like balance of probabilities, possibly. It's like balance of probabilities is most human beings are not going to achieve some kind of supreme spiritual, like, I don't know what even to call it, like transcendent sense about their lives. Most human beings are just going to be like normal, and they're going to be miserable if certain things don't happen in their lives for themselves, for their life story. That's what it's about. And so that's like a thought that just came out. So you should like make a list of the things. You can start with top 10. Make a list of the top 10 things that you feel like if they didn't happen in your life story, like events in your life story, that you will feel like you want to like die, but you're already dying because everyone has a deadline. Like, you're gonna die one day, but when you're dying, if these things don't happen, you're gonna feel like you wish you were never born. You wish you never had a soul. You wish you never were conceived as a consciousness. Like, that kind of crap is what you want to avoid. Like, that's actually the point of life. Like, what's the point of life? The point of life is to realize what the point of life is. And the point of life is literally like avoiding pain. I'm not joking, you guys. This might sound really funny and like, what? I'm like, that's because you're disconnected from reality. This is like the thing that I want to tell you. Like, if I had something to tell humans or people, it's like, look, sweetie, in the world, there is not a culture of actually having a, a conceptual grasp on what human life is about. I'm talking about like you only care about things in a certain way or not because they're painful or not. Because once again, most people are not going to go through some kind of training to become Navy SEALs or like Marine Corps. I just watched 2 seconds of like the Stargate movie. Uh, and so like there was like, and then I watched 2 seconds of some other movie, and there was like references to like military outfits of the U.S. and that's why like I'm just bringing it up right now. But I'm just saying like I know like those two things are something that like you know is considered to be like training your spirit to be like impervious to pain. You feel me? But like most people are not gonna go through anything like that. Most people are not gonna be Buddhist monks on a mountaintop like achieving spiritual freedoms. Like most people are not going to do that. Most people are going to be like I want most people are not going to master detachment in case that's actually a thing that's like helpful for human existence and consciousness that is experiencing human existence. Like if that's true, cool. But most people are not going to actually achieve that. Most people are not going to achieve detachment. They're not going to achieve any of these spiritual like they're not going to do it. And so but people still matter, and so it's like you want to die without feeling miserable. That's the point of life. Like what's the point of life? I'm like the point of life is delineated by the limits of your existence. What can you know? You can only know that which is available to your senses, because beyond that it becomes wishy-washy. You can't know it. You can believe, you can extrapolate, you can have theories, but you don't know. But you know that it hurts when certain things don't happen, and you know how much that motivates you. You know how much it like makes you like why do people get depressed? I'm like because something hurts, something's painful, something like why do you care about this or that? Like why do you have dreams? Why do you go to college? Why do you go to whatever you go to, like to do whatever? Like because you're trying to achieve something, because you're not a rock, you're not okay just existing from birth to death however it happens. Like you hope things for yourself because you are an actual character with a story. And the weird thing is the story is not being written by like a cinema writer with a producer and a director and like a bankroller who's going to like make sure that it happens, and then it's your movie. Like you have to make your movie happen, and the script for your movie, the content of your movie, the like process of your character reaching the end of your movie is within you. Like it's not some spiritual weird phrase. It just literally means like you know what you need to achieve because you know what would hurt you so much if you didn't experience it. That's the storyline that is yours, and you should work on making it happen. And I had this thought, I was like, well, like, how can you make sure that these things happen? It's like, I think the part that is important is actually being on the way. Like, if you know that you've taken the time to simply list out 10 things that make up the main events of your life story that should happen, because if they don't, you will feel like you will reach your deadline, your death point, your physical life coming to an end point, and you're going to feel like you're going to hell because your soul feels like it's gonna burn in hell for an eternity because you never became the person that you are. And now it's over because human life existence is weird. It's like you wake up and you are limited by your conscious awareness. Your conscious awareness does not stretch very far to the past or to the future, and it's what causes your downfall. Also, obviously, the consciousness activity of other people around you absolutely like causes so much of your downfall, but it's like people also create opportunities and environments, and they are supporting characters and cast for your dreams or like your life events. So people are kind of like not bad. They're kind of like necessary, and they're a source of a lot of your life's like the opposite of hell. So it's really like your conscious awareness. It literally like you can only be aware of something. I feel like up to like 10 minutes ahead or 10 minutes behind, like in the past, maybe an hour. But I'm saying like your actual active conscious awareness. You know how they say goldfish have like a 7 second memory? So like whatever your memory is, maybe you have a longer one. Maybe different people have different lengths of like conscious, like what's like able to be on your conscious screen for the now moment. Like your now moment in your like your conscious awareness of now, like your rate, like what's around you right now, which is your zone of action. Like how much does it extend? extend for you. That's your like range of power, and that's it. And so if you have no way to have a tool, if you don't have a tool that enables your memory of the past, which you will not remember 3 hours ago at like, you know, the 52nd minute of 3 hours ago what was happening, but you were there. You were there 3 hours ago, but you can't remember it. Most people, some people have like different kinds of memory, but those are exceptions. Most people, their consciousness window, not consciousness, but like conscious awareness window is very like small, and that's where all your power is. So you're trying to manage your conscious awareness window. You're trying to manage like how to have awareness that extends beyond your conscious awareness window of the now, because that's the only way that you can actually like plot your storyline to make sure it happens, because you have all these things going on. The world is happening, your own like moods are happening, your needs for the physical body are happening. You have to keep up your basic like background of like house, clothing, all that stuff is happening, and a lot of trauma is happening. Like people are bleeding out energy, people are bad people, all this stuff is happening. And so uh, you have to create a tool for yourself where you find a way to tell yourself, number one, fact number one, what's the point of life? The point of life is to like die not miserably. That's the point of life. And so the point I was trying to finish was, I was like, well, how do you make sure that like these like key life events happen? It's like, well, you can't make sure. You don't have any guarantees, but you can be on the way. And that when I had that thought, I felt a lot better. And I was like, I think if you're on your way and you're doing like I don't want to say the best, but like if you're making effort, like let's say you made your list of 10 key life events, like, and I'm talking about like make an X and Y graph, make a line graph, like draw a line that represents time on the bottom, like universal time for everybody, the years, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? And then like just like and then think about yourself, and you're like, my key 10 life events, you know, or more if you have energy to like really think it through all the way. uh and then like think about it, and you're like, whatever it is, like maybe you want to be a designer of something, and you will look at your like x like axis of that like graph, and you'll be like, here's the time, and you'll actually feel it. You'll be like, wait a second, like I actually am sensing the fullness of my lifetime, because humans all kind of live within a certain limit of like years. So you can just like be like, let's just say I'm gonna live a full ass lifetime. You look at it and you're like, well, at some point, if I'm actually gonna experience becoming a graphic designer, like I'm gonna be a graphic designer. Like one of these days in these years coming up that are coming up for everybody, I'm gonna be a graphic designer if my life happens properly. If it doesn't happen properly, and this is a key life event for me, I will die feeling like I'm going to hell, because my soul will be burning from the misery and the fact that there's no second chance, because this is final physical death. You can believe in reincarnation. You can be like, my consciousness continues after death, but it's like, you don't want to play that game. You don't want to gamble like that. People talk about it like it's just, oh, I'm like, no, you are not connected to reality. You are literally, it's what Ayn Rand called floating abstractions. Everybody in the world suffers the like affliction of the floating abstraction called one day I'm going to die. It's like, no, bitch. Like, you have to literally like find a way to like make it concrete for yourself, to be like, I'm going to actually experience physical body death. Like, you're not going to be chill about that. I'm saying most people are not going to be like, well, it's fine, like I'll just be a consciousness afterwards. It's like, no, you're going to be like, I'm going to be really into all the things that I'm into, because I need to at least experience what that energy is. Like, maybe I don't have to become some famous rich graphic designer, but it's like, it's not about that. It's like your soul is like, hi, what kind of tree are you? What kind of fruit do you bear? I design systems that function and that are beautiful for the like expansion of power, opportunity, ability, while being aesthetically pleasing, like graphic designer, right? You need to go do anything related to whatever that activity is, because that's what you are. Like, if you don't do that, it's like you're killing yourself, and you'll feel that only at the very end. And so, like, human existence is very treacherous, because essentially there's like, being born a human being is essentially like somebody forced you to sign some like legal document and you didn't know what the fine print was. That's what it feels like. You know? And then you're bored and you're like, oh my god, first of all, a bunch of horrible shit happens to me when I'm most vulnerable and have no intelligence or ability to choose or even understand what's happening. That's your childhood. Also, everything that goes into your mind from like 0 to 7 years old, quick psychology lesson, just goes straight into your subconscious, 1984 style, where completely diametrically opposing things will sit in there and will not cancel each other out. Your brain is not a calculator or a computer. It does not say error, does not match reference code, not like, it doesn't do that. You'll just have like two things that literally have to cancel each other out if you actually look at it logically, but it'll just sit in there. What a terrible design. Like, who did that? We're not thinking about that. And what's weird is that, like, when you actually start to, like, practice like thinking and you're like are trying to achieve like some kind of concrete sense of like the reality of death, concerns about God and what's really like going on kind of like go in the back burner because you're like, I don't have time for this. I don't have any way to know, and I don't have time for this. Like, I only have time for like wallowing in existential misery if I don't have a sense of death. Like, literally, death is very funny. When you have a sense of death, you suddenly really appreciate life. You're like, I like that, I like this. I'm less upset at you guys because if you get to like a sense of like, I have like a limited amount of days, like, I'm not really that mad at anybody. I'm like, it's like random people being whatever. I'm like, it's fine. Today I was at the store, I was buying groceries, and there was a couple, and they were like, I guess like if I were to identify it actually, like I was like, well, I guess like they're kind of like not into me and they're like kind of angry and they're trying to be mean to me, but I can't feel any of it. And it was kind of weird. I think it's the Tara mantra. I'm just trying to let you know what has been possibly a source of power for me in case you want to practice it because it might be powerful to you. Because I don't know what it would be. I'm like, I was coming back from work and like usually I'd get irritated and kind of like, oh, these people are like mean to me. They're kind of like they they smelled of alcohol a little bit. It was this couple, but they were like a young couple who looked normal, so they weren't like drunkards, which makes it feel kind of worse. Like if they're kind of like hateful toward you. But I was like, I'm just not I'm not on that wavelength. I'm like, it's chill. I'm so focused on like my life trajectory and like what's happening because I'm so aware of like right now in this like 10-minute block at like 6 p.m. I'm like doing something. So like your emotions are not able to be the most important thing in my face because I'm not living in the now moment. I'm living in the lifetime moment. And in the lifetime moment, you're kind of like debris flying by because I'm aware that like the actual threat to my existence is my death coming up who knows when, and the fact that like I need to be on my shit because I have a plan. And the plan isn't like something that you just make up. It's everyone's life has a plan built in. It's called define your life events. Like take an x-axis. You have the years of life that will happen for everybody. Like even if you're not here, those years are still gonna happen. Like the sun is still gonna revolve and everything else. Like all that stuff is still gonna be happening. And then you just literally look and be like, okay, like what are my events? Like I want this to happen. I want that to happen. I want to go to this country in the world. I don't really care about Argentina. Sorry, Argentina. But like I was like, I don't give a fuck if I ever go to Argentina. Oh, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not personal, but I'm just saying. I realize like I don't care about Argentina, but I care about that country. If I don't get to that country, I'm gonna feel like, why the fuck did you birth me on this planet? Like I'm just gonna freak the fuck out. It's like, oh my god, I didn't know I felt that way. It's like I knew because I like it, but I didn't know how important it was. And now you're like, I need to genuinely like make a plan to go there. Like it's not like one day. I'm like, nah, bitch. One day you're gonna be dead, and there's no guarantee. You need to go. You feel me? So then you start plotting it because you're like, well, actually, I'd like to be young enough to look like this, to take these pictures in this country, to meet these kinds of people. I might want to go on a date with blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, you're like, I'm not going when I'm 60. I'm trying to go when I'm, now. And so then it just makes it like urgent. It makes it like real. It makes it something that is forced to be put on your to-do list. It's no longer like the now moment and all this drama because the now moment gets put into its proper perspective because you can chart everything. Yesterday I did like 6.5 hours of doing all this thinking, and then I was like done with that thinking, and then I was like, and here comes life, and now I'm not gonna be with my notebook and my charts and my spreadsheets looking at all this shit. Like I'm gonna be caught by some emotion, some trauma memory, some whatever the fuck, some exhaustion, some worry, blah blah blah. I'm like, right, but if my tool is good enough, I can chart everything, because everything is identifiable, everything is a variable. And the second that feeling happens, that's when you're like, I'm kind of like more powerful now, because like everything that happens, I'm like, it's chartable. You can chart it. I'm like, I'm feeling blah 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 at this particular, like, yeah, that it has a minute to it, it has a space to it, it's happening in this space of this hour of this day. And this day is happening in this like map that I've created in a spreadsheet. And I'm like, this moment can't take over my entire consciousness, making me feel like it's the forever moment of some kind of bad feeling, because that's very common for most humans. Whatever's happening in the moment in the conscious awareness screen feels like it's like eternal, and it's not. And so like having like a chart, a graph, some kind of tool to make you aware of, I sort of got like spreadsheets. Maybe I'll like make a video where I'm like, here's what I came up with, you should use it. I think this could be used and be useful for anybody. Like, I want people to be like not feeling like they're going to hell when they're dying. Like, I want everyone to succeed and be happy. I just want everyone to be at peace. I think peace is literally like, what's the point of life to die like without a sense of freaking out that everything didn't work out? You feel me? Because I think your brain is too smart, and it knows as like time goes on that certain things aren't happening. If you, even if you're not like, when you work too much, you're exhausted and you are not available for your life. This is why you can't work too much, because it literally like you have a limit to your awareness and your like conscious ability to perceive conceptual truths, which is why I worked a shorter shift today. And I came home and I was like, wow, like it's still daytime. I'm not exhausted. I was able to go grocery shopping and it was totally chill. I ate my food and I still had energy. I did some thinking and some like create, like, you know, like some like thinking for like things about my life. I like cleaned the floor. I did the dishes. I actually rested for an hour and a half without feeling like I'm cutting into my sleep. Like, wow, like, why did I do that? Because I did the thinking in this 6.5 hours yesterday. I understood the theory. And then today, this morning, I had a choice. I was like, you can do this or you can do that. And I was like, if I do this, I get why I would do that, but that's what I've always done. It's like a longer shift and it's more money, but like, I know what that does. It'll kill my like connection to my life, which means I'll be in more danger of having my life not work out, because I have to have a connection to my life through being able to be energized enough to actually engage conceptually, intellectually with the conceptual, imperceivable truths of my existence. Because humans are not going to ever do that for you. People are never going to be like, hi, so let's like check in and like really ask, how are you? Like, what's really happening? How are you going to be okay by the time your deadline happens, which is your death point? No one does that. I want to do that. I want to do that with you. That's what I want. I want to make this culture. It's going to be so fun. Wouldn't it be fun if like there would be like all these people who are like subscribers, and we're just like our own little culture, our own little like country of like people. We're all just here to like talk about how can we become more effective at like making our lives like happen. And it's just simple. It's not like some weird idea. It's just simple, like time, conscious awareness of like a specific frame of time, because you can only, and like how do you keep memory, and how do you have conceptual perception of the future coming up and what should be in it, so you can teleologically plan, reverse engineer like your actions now, so you can give yourself motivation through your exhaustion, through whatever drama, through your trauma crap, to be like, I understand, but I need to invest this energy right now, because this discomfort right now is lessening the morbidity that I would feel in the future if this never fucking happened in the first place. You feel me? And we could all just like do. That would be so much fun. That would be so much fun. It'd be like my own little like perfect communist country, but it's like a culture. It's like a fucking like group of people that is not related to any government or background. That would be so much fucking fun. That would be blah, 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 blah. That would be so fucking fun. Okay, anyway. Sorry. Maybe that's one of my key life events. It is one of my key life events. And so yeah, what's funny is that like feeling how much action is required, it's freaking me out. But it's like, well, too bad. This is the reality of human existence. You have to genuinely like, it's like realizing that you were kind of like thrown out of a airplane and told to figure out how to fly. Like that's actually what human life is like. Like this whole like banal crap of like going to work. No. Unless your work is literally your like proper soul career, like Rihanna or some shit. Like unless you're like if you're just doing like whatever and you're like blah blah blah, I'm like bitch, like your death is coming. Of course, maybe there are people who are actually like cog like consciousness, but I just don't think that's true for most people because like human stories, whether it's cinema or novels, wouldn't be so popular throughout the ages about like a person trying to like achieve something, you know? I'm like, people aren't called consciousness. Most people are not. Oh, but the Tara mantra. Om tare tu tare ture soha or tare soha. You just look up the Tara mantra. Tara. It helped me. Yeah, because there's two people at the grocery store. I just was not upset. And I was like, why am I not upset at all? Like, I don't have, my feelings aren't hurt. I'm not angry. I'm not irritated. I'm just chilling. And they're looking at me like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I'm just in a strange state of mind where I'm like aware of like the fullness of all the time blocks before this moment and after this moment coming up and what my life is actually about. And so you guys aren't like overshadowing everything and they seem to be like mad about it. It was interesting. I'm like, I love this because it's like we're in two different wavelengths and I'm not feeling like cocky about it. I'm not feeling like fuck you. That's not what I felt. I genuinely was like